Hello, my name's Sam and you're watching So Let's Sparkle with Sam. So this is my Friday sews video where I give you a little bit about life, a little bit about sewing and a little bit about plans of sewing in the future. And if that sounds something you'd like, then I'd love you to think about subscribing, because I am getting quite close now to my 2,000 subscribers and I would love to have a big celebration. So if you feel like subscribing, I know a lot of you watch and don't subscribe, so if you just, feel like doing a good deed for today, then I'd love it for you to subscribe. I have a real problem with that word. Being a vlogger and not being able to say subscribe is a real issue. My daughter laughs at me every time I say it because I say it differently every time. But there you go. So yes, this is my Friday Sews, hashtag Friday Sews video. That is the creation of Jen from In Jen's Sewing Room. Today in Jen's Sewing Room, apologies, Jen. So yes, it was a lovely Jen's idea to kind of get all of us vloggers together with a hashtag so that you can all see our sewing vlogs. So the observant among you may have noticed that I'm a little bit more glam than I normally am for my YouTube videos. I haven't come either straight home from work or come from downstairs where I've been unstacking the dishwasher and cleaning the house. I have actually I'm just fresh from the shower and I'm about to go out for a birthday lunch with my friend. So I'm a little bit glammed up. So, hey! Special treat for you on a Friday. So yeah, so that's my kind of little bit of life, because other than me going out today, I kind of worried a little bit about today's video that I wouldn't have very much to tell you because I was a bit late with my Friday sews because of my sewcation. I didn't do my Friday sews last week until Sunday, and today I'm filming on a Thursday for tomorrow on Friday, so I don't feel like I've had very much time in between. But I've actually done quite a lot of crafting / sewing / crafting this week, so I've actually got quite a lot to share with you. So I hope you don't get too bored and I hope you enjoy what I've got to offer this week. So first things first is a great big thank you to everyone who has liked, subscribed, commented on my videos, both on YouTube and on Instagram. I've had a new flurry of followers on Instagram, which has been lovely, and I've had another little flurry of subscribers on YouTube, which is equally wonderful. So I just want to say thank you. I'm so happy that you're here. And the other is a little apology because I got a bit carried away last week with watching the clock and realised that my sewcation video was getting really long. My Friday sewcation video was getting really long. And so I rushed a little bit at the end, and there was a couple of things that I had realised that I had missed out. And one of them being, quite an important one, what I gave Karen for her birthday. For some reason, I totally missed it out. But fortuitously, I am very forgetful. I really am. I do apologise. I don't know how my family and friends put up with me sometimes, but I am very forgetful. And I am in a very good habit of putting something in a safe place. Does anyone else do that? It's so safe that you can't find it. Well, anyway, that's what I did with Karen's card. I took her gift with me, but although I'd spent a lot of time making the card, when it came to it, I just assumed that I'd put it in with her gift because I thought, well, I must have done because I can't find it anywhere, and I'd already wrapped up all of her gifts. So I thought it must be in there. Well, when I got home and I got all of my card making stuff out because I needed to make birthday cards for other people this week, there was Karen's card right on the top, all ready to go. So yeah, so because it's here and I'm actually going to send it off to her today, I'm going to put it in the post today, I thought I'd show you. So, there you go. Maybe it's all for a reason. So here is Karen's card, and I've just free motioned. I've appliqued numbers out of some little scrap fabric, and then just appliqued around them, nice and simple, and then a little bit of bunting for a nice little 60 card. So yes, the other thing that I made for Karen, that if you follow me on Instagram you would have seen. So I made Karen a backpack. I'll put another picture up here. It was a tutorial from Always Knitting and Sewing from the lovely Heather, and you got all of the bits that you needed in a subscription box, but not that fabric. That fabric I did also buy from Always Knitting and Sewing because it's gorgeous fabric, but it is a different fabric that you got in the subscription box. Yeah, they sell all the gubbings, they sell all the bits and pieces that is to make it. It's a, I wouldn't say it's an easy make, but Heather makes it very easy. The instructions are fantastic. They're very, very good. So if you've got a little bit of bag making experience, it's definitely a very doable task. But I would say watch the video very thoroughly first before you kind of go into it. But yeah, so I made Karen the bag. She was very happy with it. She popped it on straight away and we kind of checked all of the straps. It was fine. And then inside the bag, I made her 2 little kits. So I made her a kit to make the Donny shirt with some fabric, and I made her a kit to make the Naya t-shirt plus the patterns, because I know she's trying to build up her collection of patterns at the moment, and I know that she's looked at both the Naya and the Donny shirt, and I thought that would be a nice one for her to have in her collection. So I did her a kind of homemade birthday kit with fabric, thread, everything, needles, everything she needs to make it, plus the pattern. So yeah, so that's what I gave Karen for her birthday. And if I find any pictures of her opening them and things, I'll put them up here, or you may have even seen them, because sometimes I'm, you know, really quick with the editing and sometimes not so much. So the other thing that I've been making this week, as I just said, is some cards. I've been making lots of birthday cards because I've got lots of birthdays coming up. So I will share those with you. So this one is for my daughter. Her name is Leah. And I've just basically, on some felt, I've cut out all of the shapes that I needed, and then just free motioned, embroidered the little lady. And we're really into stars in our family, so I've got her holding a star and a little bow in her hair. So yeah, I love making cards because it's that quick fix of sewing, isn't it? And I love the creativity it gives you. So the other thing is, I think I mentioned last time, I'm going on Saturday. Yes, I'm going on Saturday to Catherine at Seasalt Makery. I'm going to her kind of, can't remember what she calls it, like a sewing social on Saturday, because it's my goddaughter's birthday, and this is for her. This is for my goddaughter, little card. And then I also made another one because I've got another friend coming up, and I made another one. And I have also made some outlines for some more ladies, so I've got some more cards to make. So that's the kind of sewing that I've been doing. The other bit of sewing that I've been doing is I've been taking part in a challenge called Sew a Hat 23, hashtag Sew a Hat 23. And I think it's run by the Sew Over 50 group on Instagram. I'm not 100% sure. I think it is. And I've made a few hats in my time, and I'm never particularly, I think I'm not really much of a hat person, and hats sometimes just, I feel that hats just look a bit silly plonked on my head. So I'm never entirely sure. However, I saw a new pattern by Maison Fauve called the Bob hat. And there's something about the word Bob that I like saying. I just like saying Bob, and I thought I've got to have a go at the Bob hat because it just sounds like fun. So, apologies. So I'll show you the pattern pieces. So it's a free Le Bob. It's a free pattern, and then you get your pattern pieces you need to cut out in your lining and your main fabric, and you also need a bit of binding. And I'm not going to pop this hat on because I've done my hair to go out, but I have taken a picture of it on my little Easter Island head that sits in my garden. So hopefully you'll see that up there. If I manage to come back and take another photo, I might put another photo up, but yeah. So here it is. And I've actually made a little felt brooch for it because I absolutely love the lining, because it's like vintage ladies. Let me turn it inside out so you can see. So it's like a vintage ladies, can you see? Simplicity. And I love the lining, and it says, "Pour me a glass of sass," which I just think is so fantastic. And I wanted people to be able to see the lining. So there you go. And it's all bound inside with just bias bind. And I only had black. So I pretty much made this just as kind of a try, really, just a trial to see if the size fits, because I have an extremely large head. I had to make the biggest one. I had to make the 60. I've got a big head, so I wanted to check. I've got a massive head. My sons have got massive heads as well. We're obviously just a big head family, and I just wanted to check the size. So I think I might cut another one out, and perhaps make another one. I may take that to Catherine's sew along, because now I've made it, I think I can probably do it quite quickly. It shouldn't take me too long. So that's that. The other thing that I've been doing is I have been washing and sorting my So Hayley Jane fabric for the Erin dungarees, and I've also bought this pattern. So hopefully when I get back from my long lunch with my friend today, I'm going to trace out all of the pattern pieces for this, and then hopefully get them cut and popped in a project bag so I can take that with me on Saturday. I won't get that finished at Catherine's, but I might get a start on it. So that's another one of my plans. And then another thing that I've kind of been half doing and thinking of finishing is my lovely friend Maz, who I work with at Carolyn Rose. She's Mazel Makes on Instagram. We are going to the dressmakers ball. I'm very excited. Never been before. I've never made any kind of ball gown dress before. I'm totally out of my comfort zone, but Maz is going to hold my hand. Bless her heart. I've picked a pattern. I'll show you. It's this one. It says very easy. I think they might be, pushing it. It doesn't look very easy if you ask me, but I've never made a dress like this before, so I thought I'd go for something that looks like it's got quite simple lines. I'm going to go for this version. So my homework that Maz has given me is that she's given me some advice on how I need to change the pattern for the bodice, because I will need to do a bust adjustment on it. And so I'm going to cut that out of I've got some Swedish tracing paper which I can sew, so I'm going to cut that out, gather and sew it, and have that as a little tryout, because then once we kind of see how that all gathers and how it looks, then we're going to choose some fabric, rather than choosing the fabric first. I'm kind of see how it looks, and then we'll hopefully do a little bit of fabric shopping. But I've got until the end of September, so hopefully, fingers crossed, that's given me enough time to take my time over it, but we'll see. So wish me luck, and if anyone has made this dress and has any top tips, then please let me know, because I would very much appreciate it. So that's that one. I'm rattling through it, I'm ever so sorry. The other thing that I've been doing is I have been doing my swap gift. So I do something called the Great Crafting Swap on Facebook. And that was drawn. I got my person to swap with, and I have made, the theme was back to school, so I've made some back to school gifts for her. It's a lady. So I've got this Wonder Woman Supergirl pencil case, And then I've just free motioned this little fob for the zip out of a little apple for the teacher, which I thought was quite cute. So that's going to go in the parcel. And then I've made this little starry card purse, because I find going back to school, I've made these a lot for my nephews to put bus passes and things in. I find it's always really helpful, and perhaps if you are giving it to a young lady that's going to school, you can pop bits and pieces in there, and it can be quite discreet. There is actually a tutorial for this, which I will link down below, and it's my 2-seam many possibilities purse. It's the easiest peasiest thing you've ever made in your life. So easy, nice and simple. And then the last thing that I've made to go in that is this. Oh, it's attached to the box. So I've made this, which is a messenger bag. So I've stuck with the superhero theme because I found going back to school that seemed like a good theme. And then it's got a little pocket inside, and it's just a really simple flap over messenger bag with a nice long shoulder strap. So hopefully my swap buddy will like receiving those. So that's going to go off today. So I hope that it arrives before, if they do watch this video, then you'll know what's coming your way, but you won't know, because you won't know it's you until you receive it. But if you do receive it, then you'll know it's from me, and I'm sorry if I spoiled the surprise, but I really do like sharing what I've made for the swaps. So I have rattled on, haven't I? I do apologise. So the last thing really that I was going to share with you is some happy post. So I was tidying my sewing room this morning. Oh my goodness, I let it get into a awful mess. I think it was a combination of me being away and then coming back with lots of stuff and not putting it all away straight away, and then also having quite a busy work week and a busy sewing week. Oh my goodness, everything I own was out. Nothing, I hadn't put anything away as I go, which is actually a bit unlike me, because I do try at least every evening to kind of firefight and get on top of it a little bit. So yeah, it was an absolute tip. But I don't know about you. I have little kind of tips to help me get motivated, particularly when I've got to tidy. So when I've got to tidy and I really need motivated, I use my speaking device to set timers for myself, and I set myself 10-minute timers and have like little sections to do, and I find that really helps. So this morning I set aside an hour and a half, but I've split it up into 10-minute sections and got each bit tidied up. However, in one of those sections the doorbell rang and my sewing box arrived. So I subscribe to a sewing box. I'm always listening to sewing, and I also do the tutorials for always listening to sewing, but I do buy this box because I really enjoy getting it, and so it was great because it was extra. So I left it on the side and I was like, right, Sam, when your sewing room is tidy, you can open your box. So it was great motivation. Please let me know how you motivate yourself, because I find me with my butterfly mind at the moment, and particularly with a bit of a menopausal brain, I do find motivation a bit difficult. I have got little tips for doing it, but if you have any, please share them with me. I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, so I thought, would you like to see what's in the box? Now, warning, if you do subscribe to this sewing box, don't watch if you haven't received your box yet. So I don't want to spoil any surprises, but I thought I might share it with you. So it's a monthly subscription box, and you get everything. I subscribe to the deluxe box, and in the deluxe box you get everything you need to make a project plus extras. So you get a little leaflet on, it says hello August, and there is the lovely Heather, and it's Heather's box this month. And you can see that what she's got for us to make is one of these little pouches with the clear window in, which is really handy, isn't it? And then everything that you get in your box. So I will show you. The first thing that's in my box I can see is one of these, and it's a really big one actually. It's a fantastic seam ripper. I've got one of these that I do find them really, really useful. I find the little ones, I mean, they're handy I suppose to have in a sewing kit, but they're pretty useless if you're having to seam rip a lot. I find these ones much better. So that's going to come in really handy. It's always good to have a fresh one, isn't it? And then you get a sweet treat. So I got a little dairy milk bar, so I'm going to be popping that in the fridge. I like chocolate straight from the fridge, and my husband doesn't like chocolate straight from the fridge. So I find it's a really good way of making sure that I get to eat all my chocolate by putting it straight in the fridge. So yeah, little top tip for you there. Then you get a little bag, and then the bag will have all of the notions that you need to make the project. So I've got 2 little leather tags, I've got my Gutermann thread, and then I've got a zip. So that's obviously what I need to make my project. The other thing that I can see is I've got some interfacing there, and you generally always have plenty to make more than one of the items. With the exception of the backpack, I think you only had enough to make one backpack, but you generally do have enough material to make more than one project. And then we've got this PVC to make the see-through pocket, and then we have the gorgeous fat quarters, and I love these kind of monochrome colors. Absolutely gorgeous. The hardest thing about the whole thing is deciding which fat quarters you're going to use for your project. So I've got this one, gorgeous, and then I've got this one. Well, that's nice. And then I've got a nice plain, which is always, I love these linen look fabrics that I do, always in sewing. They are gorgeous, and plains are always handy to have. And then we've got this one, which is really lovely. I think that's the one that Heather used on the front. And then we've got this one. And then last but no means least, we've got this one, which is a really... And the great thing about the subscription box is that when you subscribe, not only do you get the project tutorial for the project that's in your box, you get all the ones that they've done before, and I think they must be on like 25 now, so you get all of the previous tutorials. So when you have extra fabric, you can go back, look at the other tutorials that they've done, and perhaps find another suitable tutorial for your fabric that's in your box, which I really like, because I just like having lots of choice. I love crafting, I love having lots of choice. So yeah, so that's my Always Knitting and Sewing subscription box. There's a little cheeky unboxing for you there. But I was so excited after my cleaning, and it kind of felt like a reward. So I thought, seeing as that my sewing room is nice and tidy, I will also reward you with a little extra bit of the video. So yeah, so that's all I have got for today. I hope you are having a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, and that you're hopefully going to have lots of time to sew at the weekend. Now, if I remember, I'm going to try and take my camera with me, and I'm going to film what I get up to at the weekend and show you next week. So don't forget to sparkle. See you really soon. Bye for now.